So, FNAF is 10 years old, huh? That's really cool. You know, of all games out there, FNAF is one of, if not the most memorable games. Not because of nostalgia, no, it's because FNAF is unique. To have a successful game, you need to be creative and make an idea for a game nobody has made yet. If you want to make a game about infinitely randomly generated levels, you'll have to add something to that. And FNAF did an excellent job at that. It was a major success because of how different it was from every other game. To be fair, there are other factors that made FNAF a success, like the atmosphere, characters, and story. Oh, don't get me started on that! Oh yeah, so I wanted to do something fun and rank every FNAF game on a tier list. I'm bored, let's just do it already. Okay, you're being recorded.
You know, this is gonna sound. I was gonna say something, but it sounds a lot nicer in my head. But never mind. I'm not gonna. No.
Okay, so the first game that we have here is Five Nights at Freddy's. The first game. So what are your opinions on this?
S tier.
S tier. What are your reasonings?
Okay, it started the whole game. It's the original game. This isn't nostalgia. I never played it, and I'd say it's S tier.
Okay,
Literally.
that's very fair. Mainly for me, it's because not only are the character designs really good, but also because it's just a very simple game. It's like it's a thing that started it, but it's also like probably the most stylish of them all. Like I think that it's definitely an S tier, not because of nostalgia purposes. Halfway because of nostalgia purposes for me. Because if it was just for nostalgia purposes, I'd probably put it in B or A tier, because I still would have thought it was a good game either way. But yeah. For Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I really like the look and the style of it. It looks like just a small little pizzeria in the middle of, like a town or something, a small town that a bunch of kids would probably go to for their birthday. And, I really like that there was little to no story in it other than, a golden Freddy and stuff.
I'm here, and you get paid money. $20. You get paid a lot.
You get paid lots of money. Okay, so the next game we have is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. For me, this is definitely an S or an A tier, not because of nostalgia as well, but because not only does it introduce more story into the game series, but it also looks really good. It's a bigger establishment, and it has it looks a little bit more like a Chuck E. Cheese, because it's a lot more colorful and it's a lot more kid-friendly, if you know what I'm talking about.
Here, hold on. I would say it's on the fence between S and A, but more in S, because, first of all, FNAF 1, it's pretty easy to just jump into it. If you just start, let's say, for example, Markiplier's series of FNAF, right?
Yeah.
That's, if you started in FNAF 1, that's okay, yeah, I turn lights and do doors and look at cams. But in FNAF 2, it's okay, look at vents. Okay, give Foxy epilepsy. Okay, open cams. Okay, music box. Okay, I don't know what else there is.
So there's a lot of other things within that.
Who's that? Robot.
There's a lot of other things within that, sure, put on the mask and everything, but also there's for the Withered animatronics, specifically for Withered, Bonnie, and Chica, you're not able to see them in the vents whenever they get into your office. If you were to check the camera and they were in the vent, the vent camera, you'll be able to see that they're in the vent there. However, whenever they get into your office, in the vent, you're not able to see it. Unlike Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica, whenever they have a specific sprite for actually being there in the vent where the office, sees it when the light is turned on. And that's what kind of makes it scary to put on the mask, and kind of scary to put on all those sorts of other things as well, and just check your cameras and not be able to tell what's coming next, There have been so many runs on Five Nights at Freddy's 2, in 1020 mode that I've done, It was actually probably night 6, but you get my point. It was where, like, I would put on the mask so often that Foxy would just kill me each and every single time that I did that. And it wasn't the puppet either, because I would wind up the music box all the way to its fullest extent before flipping down the camera, and that might be a terrible idea, and that might have been why, but you know. But anyways, I would definitely say it's teetering on the edge of S and A, so should we just make another tier for that?
Put it in S. I mean, it's second game, introduced a lot of characters. Put it S tier, but behind FNAF 1.
Okay.
That's right.
That's pretty fair. Okay, so the next game is Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now this one is the one where it's like Springtrap and kind of gross and green. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That one's.
I put this one at B tier. I love the.
I've never played FNAF. Listen, I've never played a real FNAF game. I've played Roblox remakes. I've seen gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would say it's, like, high A tier or, like, high, just somewhere in A tier.
That's
like,
fair.
FNAF, you know, you always think, oh, FNAF, Freddy, Bear, Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, you think of the crew, you think of the lads.
Yeah.
You don't really think of, I mean, some people think of Springtrap, I guess, but he's, like, not the first thing that comes to mind.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is fire. Because in FNAF 3, the ending is straight up a fire. Now, in this game, it introduces a new mechanic, endings. You know, like, how in some FNAF games you're able to achieve, like, different endings depending on what you do in the game?
Yeah.
In FNAF 3, you're able to go into, like, separate mini-games and stuff within, you know, like, pressing posters or specific tiles on your wall for some reason. I don't know how that works, but it does. And, I mean, I shouldn't really be talking about it like that because, I mean, you're able to press a poster through the cameras. I don't know how that works either. But, as I was saying, you're able to access, like, different minigames and stuff where you can, like, save children within them, and it kind of reveals more story. And this was originally supposed to be the ending of, like, Five Nights at Freddy's. It was supposed to show, like, what Springtrap is, and it was supposed to show, like, oh, you're saving these children and everything. And Scott said that he is gonna leave debate on which ending in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is the correct one. For me, I'm pretty sure it's the bad ending because, I mean, in the good ending, the souls are free. But in the bad ending, they get carried over on the other games and then into Pizzeria Simulator where you're able to kill them all in one big fire. We'll actually get to that in probably a few minutes, but yeah, I'd say it's definitely around A tier or something. But anyways, we're going on to the next game, which is Five Nights at Freddy's 4. This one is the one with the, you know, the nightmare animatronics. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this.
Alright, so I'm gonna start off by saying, seen 3 clips of FNAF 4. I don't have an opinion on this one.
Do you want me to explain it to you a little bit better?
I mean, I know you're like a kid and like they're supposed to be like nightmares and stuff, and they're all like really scary.
Okay, that's kind of close, but I'm gonna be a big FNAF nerd here.
There's like a plushie behind you. That's kind of all
I'm gonna be a big FNAF nerd really quick. So the 4th game, you're playing as Michael, and these are not really nightmares. They're actually like something you experience in real life.
Gassed son, and then.
Huh?
He gassed out his son and made him have hallucinations.
Yeah, William went crazy. In sister location, you're able to see a map of the FNAF 4 bedroom and stuff, and you're able to see a map of the plush trap minigame as well. So something about this shows that it's like not really a torture chamber, but it's more like an experiment chamber, I would say, because William is a very scientific guy, especially with his, you know, animatronics and whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of them are super, you know, they're very sciencey, very sci-fi. And I know that's like what Scott likes to do with his games. He really likes to lean sci-fi, which is something he's actually gotten in trouble for once, as he did say himself in one of the Doco interviews. But as I was saying, FNAF 4, you play as Michael, and you do fend off, nightmare animatronics, but it also, in the mini-games, in the post-night mini-games, or the pre-night mini-games, you're able to see, the crying child's perspective on, everything.
Is that the Biter 87?
Yeah, and, that meme, which is absolutely amazing.
Is that the Biter?
But, I think Five Nights at Freddy's 4 for me is definitely like a B or an A tier. Now, the reasoning behind this is because I never really, thought about it that much, other than, the bite, with Fredbear and stuff. And Fredbear's, the night mini-games and everything were pretty much the only reason why I think about this game. Otherwise, it's just that really spoopy game with spoopy jump scares and a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's characters in a bedroom. It doesn't really have that many lore points within the gameplay,
Excuse me? What? Hold on, say that again?
What are you talking about? Say what?
All the Five Nights at Freddy's character where? Where are they?
Oh my god. Dude. I do not take back what I said, okay? I do not take back what I said. Anyway, let's rank this game. I'm putting it in B or A tier, but that's for me. What would you put it in?
Nowhere, because I've never played it.
I mean, that's fair. I'm gonna probably put it at the top of B tier. Everywhere that any games that are here, I'm gonna put Five Nights at Freddy's 4 above the games. Okay, so the next game that we have is Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Have you seen any gameplay of this either? It's the one with like Circus Baby and stuff.
Give Circus Baby a controlled shock. Uh-oh, looks like Funtime Foxy isn't in their spot. Give him a controlled shock, and it's like, don't crawl too fast.
It was like Circus Baby tells you don't crawl too fast, and the guide says crawl as fast as you can so you can freaking die, except he doesn't mention the dying part. Though I wish he did, because I did crawl as fast as I could once, just to debunk Circus Baby's theory. She was right. But anyways, Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, the fifth game in the series, it's a good game. I like it. It's very story-driven as well. The mini-games are good. The story's good. It really does lead well into Pizzeria Simulator, in my opinion. I think it was really good.
A or S, 100%.
I'm gonna put it above FNAF 3, because FNAF 3 is a really, really good game, but Sister Location...
You do have a point. I was going to watch the pretty much entirety of Markiplier's FNAF. Then I kind of realized that FNAF 1, I skipped through like half of it. FNAF 2, I watched like an episode. FNAF 3, I pretty much skipped through the entire thing. I think I watched like not even half of an episode. And then FNAF Sister Location, I watched a bit of. I watched like, I think, a few episodes of it.
You should watch... Okay, I definitely do recommend you watch Markiplier's gameplay of that, because Five Nights at Freddy's is not only a good game, but Markiplier's reactions to it is absolutely hilarious. In FNAF 1, he's just like, the bite? What bite? And then in FNAF 4, he's like, was that the bite of 87? But yeah, so that's my ranking of the first like 5 games. Sister Location is definitely the highest A tier, because very story driven, very, very good. I just don't like, how sci-fi it is. I do think it's very, very good for being like in between sci-fi and animatronic horror, like the first 4 games was. And I love how like metallic it is as well. I think that's really, really cool. But anyways, moving on to Pizzeria Simulator. Did you ever hear about this one?
Heard about it, never seen gameplay, never played it.
So, Pizzeria Simulator, it's another one of those troll games that's...
You like build your own like little pizzeria.
Yeah, it's one of those troll games by Scott again. It's not really a troll game in the sense of, oh, it's a game where you just... It's another one of Scott's games, but reskin. No. It's one of those games that he did not post pretty much any teasers for. The ones that he did were super duper secretive. They didn't show any actual gameplay. It was mainly like the 8-bit mini game at the very start of the game. You get what I'm saying? You remember?
Yep.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you don't really know. But you can look up like a picture of that if you want to know what I'm talking about. Well, actually,
you just put a egg.
Yeah, that game for Scott was originally supposed to be like the game that was supposed to like put an end to a bunch of things that he didn't feel were how did Scott word it? He said it was a game to put an end to all those like weird mysteries and stuff that he didn't feel should last any longer. And he said that there's only a certain amount of like murder and stuff that a person can take. And talking about murder, even writing a story about it, there's only so much that a person can take. And that's why he was like, okay, I gotta put an end to that. And I'm pretty sure FNAF 6 was originally supposed to be like, you know, that's it. That's the end of Five Nights at Freddy's. And then UCN, that was also supposed to be like putting it in a little bow and sending it off. FNAF Pizzeria Simulator is definitely S tier, probably, but after, like, below the first game, but above FNAF 2, definitely for me, because it's really good. I like the story in it, but it's definitely not as, you know, as stylish as FNAF 1.
Gaming.
Also, it is the one where you can make your own pizzeria. However, it's also the one where you, like, after that, you go into like this dark office where it's like you have a bunch of vents around you and you have to lure the animatronics away from you with audio cues and whatever. It's kind of like FNAF 3 but upgraded, like heavy upgrade.
Heavy.
Wait, hold on. Heavy upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have UCN. Do you know this one? It's Ultimate Custom Night.
Yeah. This is the one where you put every animatronic on 20 and you get a million pop-up ads and you die in 3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so this one for me, it's like a mini game. I'm gonna put it at A tier. I'm gonna put it below everything at A tier. Pretty much all of the Scott games, you know, the Scott games that he worked on pretty much by himself, are in the first 3 tiers because that's how gamer they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going into the Steel Wool era and stuff of these games. It's we have Five Nights at Freddy's VR. Did you ever play this?
God, yes. I remember.
Oh yeah, I made you play it.
Sneak into the hallway?
So you can see if anybody's there, and you know what? You know what that made? You know what happened?
What did he do?
You know what happened?
I do remember what happened.
You know what happened? I got jump scared. You know what happened? You know, it was Foxy. You know?
Yeah, I remember that, and I do not regret a thing.
That was the best gaming moment.
Yeah, FNAF VR for me was always the most hilarious thing, because not only did I troll you, but I also got to, you know, experience the first couple of games in VR.
I legitimately haven't played it. Somebody remade the entirety of FNAF Held Wanted on VR. I played a bit of that.
On Roblox?
Yeah. I played a bit of that.
I have a feeling. Hold on a second. I have a feeling that that's gonna get in.
I think that's it.
I have a feeling that they're going to get in trouble for that. What did you say about it?
Oh yeah, it's literally like the support of the game. It's probably S tier. I mean, it's just FNAF 1 in VR. I'd say it's like mid S tier, if anything. It's nothing new. I mean, it's just VR port of FNAF 1.
Well,
isn't that what it,
well,
is
no.
Is that not Help Wanted?
So FNAF Help Wanted, that isn't what it is. FNAF Help Wanted is you know what Steel Wool is? You know what Steel Wool Studios is? So they're making pretty much all the newer FNAF games, and this is basically like an introduction to the Steel Wool games. And what this is it is the game that's like, oh, you have all these different FNAF-based mini-games. You have the first 3 games, and then you have a bunch of FNAF-inspired mini-games, including some smaller mini-games from the first 6 games as well. Except very rare is there a sister location one, and then FNAF Help Wanted 2 came out and it focused more on that. This was my favorite Steel Wool FNAF game because it didn't focus too much on like the modern FNAF lore and everything, which I don't really like because it's not only really complicated, but it also doesn't really make sense to me. But FNAF VR, it's just FNAF in VR pretty much, and like I said, it's a bunch of FNAF based minigames and stuff. And there is some story in it as well, where it's like, oh, there's a development team and you gotta shut down the project. You want to make sure that this thing is deleted before you release the game. And it's like, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of meta storytelling. It brings in the meta storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a really good game in terms of storytelling, in terms of minigames. So yeah, I'm definitely putting this in like the bottom of S tier.
Yeah, middle or bottom of S tier, I think is where it deserves.
Yeah.
So
It's not like the worst game. Like as in it's not the worst game in S tier, but it's also not the best. So I'm definitely putting it at the bottom. Not because it's the worst, but because it could, it could be better than all these other games that they put just the tiniest bit amount more effort into some other things. Like they could have added FNAF 4 into it. I know that's a lot to ask, and they probably would have had to model it, but then again, they could have just used Scott models, which they did for the first 3 games, I'm pretty sure, other than FNAF 3. Anyway, we are moving on to the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. Now, this is just FNAF VR, but it's Halloween, so I'm definitely gonna put this in the bottom of A tier, because I played it. I thought it was really good. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna put it above FNAF 4. Actually, wait, no, I said that everything was gonna be below FNAF 4 because FNAF 4 is better than it. Yeah, that's fair. C is very fair.
Here.
No, we can't have the imposter of.
Throw it there.
I'm gonna put it in C tier. Okay, so we have FNAF AR. FNAF AR, I didn't really like it all that much. I played it for like a day, and then I stopped playing.
Augmented reality, is that some like?
It's kind of like Pokemon Go, but not exactly. You're not gonna go into your neighbor's yard and catch Freddy Fazbear or Bonnie. You're gonna probably just you're in a room, right? You look around and you try to look for the animatronic character, and you shock them before they get to you, and that's how you win.
That sounds terrible.
It is. It kind of is. It was good at the time, but then it was just like, it became boring. Okay, FNAF Security Breach. The glitchiest game
Where did you put, what tier was that one going in?
It's going in B tier.
Okay.
I'm putting it in D tier.
It's probably not the worst FNAF game, but it's probably not the best or
I definitely think
the 10th best or the 12th best. It's probably the 14th best. Now, speaking of which, how many FNAF games are there?
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, maybe that one's the 17th worst. We'll say that. We'll say that.
There's also Troll Games, which amounts to like 20.
Oh my god.
Anyway, FNAF Security Breach. This one is the glitchiest of the bunch, but I did kind of like the story. I think it was a good FNAF game, other than the glitches. I think that was the only reason why people hated on it so much. It was just because of how glitchy it was. Like how buggy. I have heard of amogus.
Put it in the imposters found a new vessel.
You know what? Yeah, because pretty much everybody is being killed by Glitch, Trap, and Banny. Okay, a little bit of context. The imposter has found a new vessel tier is not the worst tier. It's just, you know, a joke tier. I can't put it at the very top because that would mean it would be better than S tier and would get people confused. So I put it all the way at the bottom, but then I realized that might confuse some people. The imposter has found a new vessel tier is not the worst. Okay.
Make some like weird color that like nobody associates with being bad. Like
I'm gonna make it purple.
Make it white. Make it white. Bad. So.
Hey, you can't say that. Okay, so the imposter has found a new vessel tier. That's not the worst tier, as I just said. And FNAF Security Breach Ruin is also going in there because of the Mimic. The Mimic is literally a shapeshifter from Among Us. And then FNAF VR 2. FNAF VR 2, I didn't like it at all. I like how it focuses more on the, you know, FNAF 6 Security Breach and FNAF sister location stuff, but I didn't like it all that much. I didn't think it was a good game. Now we have the new fan game, which is Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, which is based on the game. Or, not the game, sorry, which is based on the book, the novel. I thought it was good. Or, I think it's going to be good. I saw, like, teasers and stuff. You know, seeing, like, trailers and everything, it makes you think you've played the game, am I right?
I have never seen gameplay. Never read the books about FNAF. I don't have a say in this one. I don't think I have a say. Yeah, I just don't have a say in this one a lot.
Okay. Well, I think that this one is going into, like, the bottom of A tier. Actually, you know what? It's going up. It's going above sister location. Because it encapsulates the first, like, the first two games, you know, style.
Yeah.
With Into the Pit and everything. But it, you know, it's based on the books and everything, so I can't really put it at the very top because, you know. And it's also retro style. I really like that idea as well. It's like an arcade game type thing. It was originally supposed to be released on Super Nintendo cartridges. Did you know that?
Actually?
Yes, I'm not even kidding. It was supposed to be released on that. And then in the interview, Scott went, okay, we can't just have it on, you know, cartridges. We have to have it on actual PC game and stuff because not everybody owns a Super Nintendo.
For that, like, I know that that's probably not illegal, but that's like there's probably some loophole Nintendo would find to be like, you actually can't use third-party cartridges with our first-party devices.
Yeah,
so,
that's very fair, but at the same time, it's kind of their own fault. Like, I mean, it's kind of Nintendo's own fault for being so stingy with their IPs and characters and everything.
What if you don't have a Nintendo entertainment super?
I know, because
what if you don't have that? You don't want to buy one, but you want to play the game.
Exactly. But now we don't have to deal with that. We can just, you know, play it on PC. And I don't know if it came out. I don't know if it's just the demo or something.
And an emulator, just so you can play FNAF on your Super Nintendo. Or on the fan game. Hear me out, alright?
Okay, I'm gonna hear you out.
It would be a banger. It's about Freddy Fazbear.
Fart? Really is it just where you what?
Freddy Fazbear really needs to take Faz crap. That's what the game is about.
Okay. Now we're going on to FNAF World.
Yeah.
To be honest, this one is very, like, highly underrated. People were like, oh, this isn't FNAF, so I'm gonna hate on it. But it's very underrated. I played it. I played the entirety of it. I fought Scott.
I watched a speedrun of it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody was so, like, upset with it. I thought it was really good. Did you watch Astral Spiff play it?
No, I watched Easy Speezy speedrun it.
Oh yeah, that guy. I watched him speedrun Undertale and Deltarune and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think FNAF World is definitely, like, behind FNAF 4, which is B tier. It is a very good game. It's highly underrated. It's not better than FNAF 4, though.
No, it's a T tier game. That's what it is, a T tier. So bad that it's not even a tier that we have. It's E tier.
Well, now you're hurting my feelings, bro. Okay, hold on. So we have Freddy in Space 2, which I'm pretty sure there's a Freddy in Space 1, which was supposed to be a joke. It was on FNAF World, right?
Excuse me?
Freddy in Space. It's a joke game made by Scott Cawthon. I think it was in FNAF World, but it was like a mini game type thing. Yeah. But yeah, FNAF World FNAF Freddy in Space 1, I would put that at C tier. Freddy in Space 2, that's behind FNAF World. Freddy in Space 3, it's a joke game. It's a joke game. It was labeled as FNAF the movie, the game. But it was Freddy in Space 3. So I'm putting that also no, I'm gonna put it above Freddy in Space 2 just cuz I'm pretty sure everybody was hyped for like, oh my gosh, it's FNAF movie the game, but then everybody was like, oh, it's just Freddy in Space again. And that was really funny. But also we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Fury's Rage. Never played this game, so I'm gonna put it in the Security Breach area. You know what I'm talking about. The imposter has found a new vessel.
Ada never played this.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. Hold on.
Never played this tier, or else everything would go in there.
I labeled it never played it Lamau.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Fury's Rage down here. I'm not gonna label this as the worst tier because I don't know if it's a good game or not. So I'm just gonna do it as like never played it. And then 5 Laps at Freddy's. This is the racing game. It's pretty much Mario Kart, but Five Nights at Freddy's. People say it's good, so I'm gonna put it in never played it, but I don't know. I'm gonna probably have to play it just to check and see. I could do the same thing for FNAF Help Wanted and the Freddy in Space games as well, but I'm not gonna do that.
All the ones you haven't played, don't put them in any specific order. Just literally throw them in there.
The thing is, I've seen people play most of these games.
Okay, to be fair, you haven't played them, don't rate them. Alright?
That's fair, yeah. I've played FNAF Security Breach and FNAF Ruin and FNAF Ruin.
I know I'm definitely doing that, but like...
I mean, we gotta have content, right? We can't just put everything and never played it, because that would just be the most uninteresting FNAF tier list ever.
Yeah, if it was me making the tier list, S, A, B, C, D, F, never played it. All of them would be at never played it.
And this is the finished tier list. Epic. Happy birthday, Five Nights at Freddy's.